This is QTV Nightly News coming to you live from our studios on Kaiba Avenue, and I am Jennifer Sonko. Thanks for joining us here at the main news headlines. As part of ongoing weekly presidential delivery forum with government ministries and agencies, officials of the Ministry of Youth and Sports on Tuesday updated President Barrow on the progress of their projects. The Minister of Agriculture, Demba Sabali, on Tuesday presided over the signing ceremony for the expansion of the Second Roots Input Support Program for Farmers Associations. The National Cancer Control Program, in collaboration with partners, recently held a validation forum on the draft integrated mission for Program of Action for Cancer Therapy report. And in sports news, the Commonweal Games is struggling to get a host as Malaysia becomes the latest country to decline the opportunity to host due to the costs. And in international news, according to a report by IQ Air, a Swiss company which monitors air quality, only 7 countries have met the minimum standard of international air quality set by the World Health Organization. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you so much for joining us. This is QTV News and I'm Jennifer Sonko. As part of the ongoing weekly presidential delivery forum with government ministries and agencies, officials of the Ministry of Youth and Sports on Tuesday updated President Adama Barrow on the progress of their projects. Minister Bakari Waibaja said some of the projects are completed and orders on course after an initial delay. Ali Sise has the rest of that story.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports delegation included its Minister Bakari Waibaji, Permanent Secretary Nde Marinjai, and directors of various satellite institutions under the ministry. The ministry also updated the President on the activities that are ongoing, especially in the areas of infrastructural development for sports and young people. Minister Bakari Waibaji elaborated.
Key highlights is the ongoing renovation of the Independence Stadium. The challenges that have been encountered over the past months as work progresses, but also we were looking at other infrastructures that have been developed across the country from Kafuta to Buyam, Janjambure and Sandu, and also the Farafenye Youth Center, which is been supported by our development partner. So we've done our presentation and have also had questions from President and the Vice President and other staffs that are part of the ministry. But also be able to give response in terms of what is ongoing and generally took a position in terms of how do we move forward to be able to ensure that our works are delivered on time.
The ministry has experienced a long delay in timely delivery of projects by contractors, something the minister said they have learned a lesson.
Well, with regards to the Independence Stadium, it's really financial because, like the President himself said, at the beginning of the contract, these projects were never costed. I mean, the stadium was not budgeted for, so it has been an issue. But His Excellency has recommitted that government has the funds, and we would receive them as soon as possible from the Ministry of Finance. Now, the other part, these football fields or mini stadium, as they call them, indeed, the delivery has been poor, the completion part of it. But at least they are now completed and handed over to the community, except for Kafuta. It's unfortunate it took us more than 2 years to complete this project, but that's where the aspect where I said the contractors issue, that was a contractual issue. And we've learned a lesson. I think government have even taken a decision, even before today, about certain contractors who have failed to deliver projects given to them, including our own projects. But the good news is, as of February, these contracts and these fields were handed over to their communities upon completion. And there were mistakes at the beginning in terms of the supervision, but of course we've taken note of that, and that's why we now moved away from a private consultant to give it to the Ministry of Works. And now government is talking about using Gumworks as the consultant for the project.
President Barrow expressed delight with the progress of work, but equally shared concern about the delays. The outcome of the meeting is expected to guide the ministry, especially in the areas of infrastructural development, among others. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
The Minister of Agriculture, Demba Sabali, Tuesday presided over the signing ceremony for the expansion of the Second Roots Input Support Program, which seeks to boost rice production in 26 communities across the country. And Sumana Isonyasi was at the event, and this is his report.
Tuesday's signing ceremony marks the follow-up to a similar support extended to 27 identified farming communities last year, having registered a noticeable improvement in rice production. Dr. Demba Sabali, Gambia's Minister of Agriculture, says agriculture remains a key priority for the Barrow administration and urges beneficiary communities to take advantage of the support being provided by the Roots Project by maximizing production to help attain the National Rice Self-Sufficiency Agenda 2030.
The Roots Import Support Program for Rice is designed to assist the membership of the Rice Farmer Association, not only to improve their yield and productivity, but also to accumulate the liquidity necessary to independently underwrite their own production activity in the medium term. In a bid to foster ownership and sustainability, the program is based on a partial and declining subsidy mechanism over a 3-year period. This means in the first year, the Roots project will offset 80% of the total cost, 50% in the second year, and 20% in the third year.
Mamour Aliou Jagne, the project director of the Roots Project, and Musa Huma, the director of agriculture, also highlighted government's achievements in rice production. They expressed optimism that the input support program will significantly improve rice production in the coming rainy season.
With all modesty, Honorable Minister, I can say that the support program last year made a bit of a difference to farmers across the country. And therefore, having these additional communities, we are trying to replicate what we did last year, but also expand and also try to sustain that.
And the vagaries of climate change cannot be overemphasized here. They are too much impacting on the agricultural sector. If there is any sector that climate change is impacting on, if you look at the scale of preference, agriculture would be top on the scales of preference. So early planning is one way to mitigate the vagaries of climate change on our farming systems.
On behalf of the beneficiary communities, Peter Balde, president of the Rice Farmers Association, thanks the Ministry of Agriculture and Roots Project for supporting them and went on to highlight how such support will impact their production.
My colleague farmers, I would also urge us to definitely respect and protect this input support. I don't call it input support, I call it production support, because this input will increase our production in terms of hectareages.
In this second phase, 6 communities in URR with 220 hectares, 2 communities in CRR North with 224 hectares, 3 communities in LRR with 80 hectares, 5 communities in North Bank region with 182 hectares, and 10 communities with 104 hectares respectively will benefit from the input support program. The Resilience of Organizations for Transformative Smallholder Agriculture Project Roots was launched in February 2021 with the main goal of improving the food security, nutrition and resilience of smallholder farmers to climate change in the Gambia. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
The National Cancer Control Program, in collaboration with partners, recently held a validation forum on the draft integrated mission for Program of Action for Cancer Therapy Report and National Cancer Control Strategy. Lena Igwenyiba has the rest of that story.
The validation forum, which brought together 12 international experts from Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon and South Africa, aims to strengthen cancer care in the Gambia and the sub-region. Dr. Ahmadulamin Samata, the Minister of Health, shed light on the most prevalent cancers in the country and outlined the ministry's mechanisms to ensure affordable and early detection.
We've seen that cervical cancer, being the commonest cancer in women, is on the rise. Liver cancer as well on the rise, and breast cancer on the rise in women. Liver cancer being the second commonest in women and being the commonest in men in this country. We've seen cases of breast cancer, and the sad reality is many of these cases appear when the cancer is already advanced. It started by divorcing the cancer unit from the non-communicable disease unit. In fact, cancer activities were quite rudimentary in this country because the non-communicable disease unit did not have cancer care as the primary focus. The focus was mainly on other non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, and of course, a lot of focus on tobacco control, where Gambia is excelling. But that means cancer care was relegated to the background. The cancer control program was set up a few years ago, but as you can all attest to the fact that it was not a mistake, that is one of the greatest milestones in the control of cancer in this country.
Dr. Alfred Karagu, a consultant with the Integrated Atomic Energy Agency and leader of the Integrated Mission for Program of Action for Cancer Therapy, emphasized the invaluable benefits of the partnership for cancer control in the Gambia.
As IEA, we are championing the Rays of Hope initiative, and we'll be very happy to work with you closely, because the Rays of Hope initiative is looking at how can we work with member states to strengthen the use of radiation medicine in both cancer diagnosis and cancer treatment. We are aware that as a country, you are very focused on having radiotherapy services, on strengthening your diagnostic imaging. So I think that is also an opportunity for the country to benefit from this relationship that you are creating here.
Dr. Keba Bojang, head of the National Cancer Control Program in the Gambia, highlighted the importance of fostering a well-informed society to effectively combat cancer.
Fighting cancer is no easy task. No one country can do it on their own. And as a nation, fighting cancer begins with the knowledge and understanding of the situation on the ground.
The multifaceted strategy adopted by the Gambia encompasses palliative care, early detection, diagnosis, treatment, and prevention, signaling a comprehensive approach to combating this pervasive disease. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
Sending some love and light to all cancer survivors around the world. From that report by Lena Igwenyiba, we will now go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we have local, international, and sports news stories. Do stay with us.
The Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024, the second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace, and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture, and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make a difference.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning-fast download and upload speeds, you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected, juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Jennifer Sonko. Now, a devastating fire incident in Nauda village in the Standard district has left families homeless and in need of immediate support. Alaji A.F. Jallo visited the family and filed in this report.
Over the weekend, a devastating inferno strokes the Krubali family in Nauda village in the Standard district, leaving the family in despair. The cause of the fire, which destroyed all belongings, is unknown. Penda Kurbali and Omar Kurbali, all victims in Naude village, said the fire caught them by surprise. This incident happened at around 5 p.m. when everyone was at the mosque praying. As a result, the compound was already ravaged before people came to help. Everything was burned to ashes. I lost everything to the fire. All my last season harvest and other valuable and cash amounting to $18,000 were consumed. I am appealing for support because, as you can see, we are homeless. When we arrived at the scene from prayer, we realized that the fire was out of control. All that we could do was to rush into the house where my 2 children were sleeping. Fortunately, we were able to rescue them, although one sustained serious burn to his arm. We are appealing to good Samaritans to come to our aid. At the moment, we have nothing. Asanba, the alcalo, said that by the time they arrived at the scene, the fire has already engulfed the buildings and the strong winds made it difficult to quench the fire. He further advises women to be vigilant with their children during the period of cooking their meals. We are all shocked. This is a sad situation for the family. We want to appeal to the government and good people to help the family because today they are left with nothing. You can all see their houses were completely burned down. Bolong Konjira, a member of Sandu Development Association, and Seydou Mane, a Red Cross volunteer, were all at the scene at the time of the fire incident.
When we had this incident, our executive members, SCODA, that is Sandu Development Association, summoned an emergency meeting to discuss about this issue. The reason why we summoned that meeting to discuss about the incident that happened in Kurubal Kunda in Naude, to call on people and then to seek for their support and their help so that they can help the families of Kurubal Kunda.
Advice, number one, when you are just cooking, you should be there. That's number one. And then just don't avoid the children from the fire.
At this time of the year, the environment is volatile for fire disaster due to the presence of strong winds. The fires that have happened during this period have been devastating, leaving many families, including these ones, homeless and pleading for support. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alaji A.F. Jallo.
From that unfortunate incident, let us now take a look at what is happening beyond our borders. Air pollution is worsening due partly to economic activities around the world. According to a report by IQ Air, a Swiss company which monitors air quality, only 7 countries have met the minimum standards of international air quality set by the WHO. More in this report. 134 countries and regions were surveyed in the report, and Australia, Estonia, Finland, Grenada, Iceland, Mauritius and New Zealand are meeting a World Health Organization guideline limit for tiny airborne particles expelled by cars, trucks and industrial processes. The report is conducted by IQ Air, a Swiss air quality organization that draws data from more than 30,000 monitoring stations around the world. The measuring standards is PM2.5, a type of microscope speck of soot less than the width of a human hair, and that when inhaled, it can cause a myriad of health problems and threats, risking serious implications for people. Air pollution is recognized as one of the most common environmental toxins, responsible for approximately 6.7 million deaths globally, with the majority occurring in low and middle-income countries like the Gambia. According to the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation, air pollution was the second highest risk factor, driving most death and disability in the Gambia in 2019. The Permian Healthcare Air Initiative is a Gambian initiative that seeks to promote lung health locally by filling critical air quality knowledge, technological and evidence gaps in the Gambia. Through the initiative, air quality sensors have been installed in different locations in the country, such as Kanifing and West Coast region. According to the report, the number of countries and regions with air quality monitoring has steadily increased over the past 6 years. There remain significant gaps in government-operated regulatory instrumentation in the many parts of the world. Low-cost air quality monitors, sponsored and hosted by citizen scientists, researchers, community advocates, and local organizations have proven to be valuable tools to reduce gaps in air monitoring networks across the world. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko. From that story, let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports. The Commonwealth Games is struggling to get a host as Malaysia becomes the latest country to decline due to cost issues, which echoes the reason given by Australia. Our sports reporter Mamudu Gajaga has the rest of that.
One of the world's biggest sporting events, the Commonwealth Games, is struggling to attract a host for the 2026 edition following Malaysia's decision. The refusal to host comes despite the Commonwealth Games Federation, CGF, offering Malaysia £100 million as supporting funds after the Australian state of Victoria withdrew. Although seemingly a huge sum, Malaysia's sports minister said the offer will not cover the overall cost of hosting a large-scale sports event, and that, additionally, the economic impact could not be identified in this short time frame, it added. These two latest withdrawals to host July's event are due to soaring cost, and it has raised doubts over the future of the Games. Birmingham, which has been due to host in 2026, stepped in to host the 2022 Games when the South African city of Durban was stripped of hosting rights after running into money troubles and missing key deadlines. Mohamed Noza Zakaria, president of the Commonwealth Games Association of Malaysia, has said the chance to host in 2026 was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build on the success of 1998, the only previous occasion the country has hosted the Games. But Malaysia's sports minister, Hannah Yeo, said on Thursday it may be best for the country not to host if public funds are needed to stage the event. The government of Alberta, Canada, has pulled its support for a bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games, also because of rising costs. All these withdrawals have now cast doubt on the future of these games, which were previously known as the Empire Games. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Hope they get a host soon. Now, before we leave, let's recap our main headlines. As part of ongoing weekly presidential delivery forum with government ministries and agencies, officials of the Ministry of Youth and Sports on Tuesday updated President Adama Barrow on the progress of their projects. The Minister of Agriculture, Demba Sabali, Tuesday presided over the signing ceremony for the expansion of the Second Roots Input Support Program for farmer associations. The National Cancer Control Program, in collaboration with partners, recently held a validation forum on the draft integrated mission for Program of Action for Cancer Therapy report. And in sports news, Commonwealth Games is struggling to get a host as Malaysia becomes the latest country to decline the opportunity to host due to costs. And in international news, according to a report by IQ Air, a Swiss company which monitors air quality, only 7 countries have met the minimum standards of international air quality standards set by the World Health Organization. Well, that is all we have for you in this edition of QTV News. Do join us tomorrow, same time for more news. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs.